And hello, everybody. Welcome again. Another Sunday, another live stream. Well, welcome. Yeah, this is this week's lessons, and welcome. It's a nice Sunday outside. It was very cold in the morning, but now it's getting warmer and warmer. Um, hopefully, the stream will be on everywhere for the whole duration. And because last time we did have a pretty big interruption. Oh, let's see. Can I hear? Great, I can hear myself. The sound is perfect. Sometimes there's a weird glitch in the sound ongoing, so now it sounds perfect. So yeah, last stream, yeah, we did have a big interruption for like a minute almost, maybe like 2 minutes or something like that, because the school's Wi-Fi here just decided to take a break. So in case it does decide to take a break again, I do have my phone hotspot ready, so I'll just reconnect very fast and yeah, we'll be back up in a short second. So yeah, if it does disconnect, don't leave immediately because I know some people do. I've seen the viewer counts drop sometimes. It's been like five viewers and then it drops and then it's suddenly only two or something like that. Still, I work with small numbers, but I can kind of extrapolate why people leave when it's off. So if it does drop, don't immediately leave because within 2 seconds I'll have it back up and running. Awesome. Derek, good morning. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for showing up to the stream. Well, looks like we'll have a pretty slow start. Used to be a little more interesting on LinkedIn that people would actually come, a lot more people who would click attend, and then it would be like 80 people would click attend and then five would come. Now 50 people click attend and only so far one comes, but everybody gets a notification. So we'll see if anybody else files in. Hopefully they do, but if not, then hey, I still like to talk. So this is my Sunday outlet. I'll put it that way. Maybe I can just start naming it. My Sunday, this week's outlet. It'll just be me talking about BS. Good afternoon, NC Web Dev. Welcome from YouTube. That's my sole viewer on YouTube so far. And yeah, and I mean this past week, first week of classes, it went by fast. Yeah, I mean I've talked about that on a lot of streams as well. I was told, I was warned, and I know that just time will go by faster and faster the older you get. So so it's already first week behind me. It was interesting. It was pretty. How would I put this? Like I said, fast, but already kind of busy. So already got a lot of stuff to do for next week. Thankfully, tomorrow is got an extended weekend. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying the last, pretty much the de facto last week of summer. Uh, like, let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing. If you're going to a pool, if you're going to a barbecue, if you're grilling out for the last time. What are you guys doing? Curious, because I will be probably driving around and you know doing doing business. Well, not this weekend, but during the week, inside the week. So yeah, so I'm kind of getting ready for that, and awesome. Oh, there you go. That's exciting for some people. Liverpool is playing Arsenal right now, so what that takes away viewers as well. And orange covering it. Oh, God, I can't see the emoji, unfortunately. This kind of sucks. Yeah, so that takes away the viewers as well. Yeah, I mean, kind of true. But if we're still up, we should be okay. No, there's not. I thought it was like a notification that something went wrong. Never mind, we're still up. Yeah, so that's interesting, but not a lot of people in the U.S. watch this stuff. They don't watch soccer. Oh, I know you. I know. NC Web Dev hates that, don't you? Yeah, but no. So, what do you think? What do you think of soccer, NC Web Dev? What do you think of that? You tell me. And yeah, so I'm curious. Are we still on? Hopefully, we're still on LinkedIn. It's not bad. Doesn't look like it. Okay, we still got one viewer, one extra viewer, one additional viewer. I think that's still Derek. So if you're still here, Derek, tell us what are you going to be doing? You know, today, tomorrow, whatever. Because we're curious minds. And yeah, so like I said, fast week. It was kind of busy. Did have a lot of started to have a lot of assignments introduced. Everyone watches football. Yeah, I mean, but the real football for many people, well, for pretty much everybody in the United States, is American football. So it's not really uh, Europe football means uh, Europe football is football. I mean, it literally is football because you play with your feet and you kick a ball. I never understood the why American football is called football when you know they mostly have it in their hands, right? They throw it and then they run with it because feet are feet are in that, obviously, sure, they're running, but it's not like they're not playing with their feet. So that kind of always weirded me out, and it really doesn't make much sense. Maybe they were trying to steal some popularity from what they now call soccer, because football, what is actual football. American football is exactly, it's throw ball. It's not or sometimes kickball, right? Because they kick the ball to punt it or something like that. But those are the only times that they really actually kick it, like for a field goal or a punt. That's the only times they do kick it. So, like I said, that doesn't make too much sense to me. Yeah, what do y'all think? Should it be called soccer, football, like the actual stuff where you play with your feet, like Arsenal and Chelsea stuff? Croatian nogomet. Yeah, I know. Like nogo means noga means noha, or aka leg in English. So foot. I don't know what met means. Probably like met meech, ball, something like that. Maybe I'm a little just trying to understand it. Anyways, but it's still weird. Uh, American football. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think it should be called? Besides that, the week has been a little slower actually in news in general, and especially in AI news. It's not a lot of stuff is a leg flick. Okay, I gotta forgot to hide this. Uh, yeah, I mean it was interesting to see a couple things that came out. Some of it isn't that new. Like for example, it's not new, but it is still shocking. Like for example, YouTube uh, secretly editing people's videos with AI, which is interesting. And it happens, right? But it's basically it is a little bizarre in the way they use it. I didn't truly understand it, but like right now they're using it only for like jump cuts. Uh, hey, quit going on about football. I don't. Yeah, okay. Met toss the ball with your leg. Okay, weird. That's even worse thing. So that's even worse to understand. Like toss the ball with your leg. Like that doesn't make sense. In any case, I did want to get into AI. YouTube using AI to edit people's videos secretly. They don't disclose that, and it's basically just right now they're using it for simple stuff like jump cuts, ahs, basic stuff. But hey, soon, who knows? Maybe they will start using it for more bigger purposes once AI gets better, obviously, and it might end up just being like people will each see, it will be the same video, right? Same name, same maybe thumbnail, but they will each see, like YouTube will have 10 different versions that will show to 10 different people based on their preferences, based on what they like to hear, just to keep them engaged and on screen a little more. Who knows? But yeah, like right now that's not happening. I'm not saying it is this stuff, but it is happening that they are editing people's videos in the basic sense, which is still questionable. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it should be AI should be used in that sense, especially not disclosed. Well, especially undisclosed like that. Everything AI wise should be disclosed, and because it's just shady stuff what they're doing, and I don't like it. And God, I don't know if they're doing it with mine. I don't usually have that many silent spaces in my videos. I usually do a good job of cutting it all out, and and stuff. But maybe maybe I'll just go through my videos and find some interesting stuff. Who knows? I hope I don't though. At the same time, though, I don't know if they would use it for smaller creators like me. It seems like they would do like this big stuff for bigger creators. They would just control a couple of the big people who basically control the virtual crossroads, and yeah, they could just hold those choke points and then basically just make a lot of money off of that. Obviously, if you get people to watch more, then you can give them more ads and make it more personalized, and they'll watch forever. And who knows? It's getting closer by the day, and it's kind of scary how UGC, aka user generated content, might soon just become like a UGC AI synthesis, like an involuntary synthesis at that, because YouTube will just do it. They will not even ask you; they'll just do it, and they won't let you know. So UGC AI involuntary synthesis is what I'm going to call it. But yeah, still scary, still scary, interesting, but scary. And the other stuff that was big, like huge, but not actually for some reason big in the news, was Anthropic. They finally settled a plagiarism case with creators, because obviously they took a lot of data from all these different free places like libgen, library genesis, sometimes use that, and then basically just pirated the works and then used it in their own what do you call it, to train AI, obviously, right? They just pirated the works, and that was like millions of works that they did, and with other libraries as well. And suddenly, like they obviously got slapped with lawsuits like hell, and they got what happened. What was a judge actually kind of ruled in favor of them, because he said like Anthropic was using it to make a major technological advancement or change or something like that, so the like legally justified taking millions of pieces of work, or just people's work, and then using it in their AI. So that justified it. So that overrode copyright, which is just unprecedented, which is huge. But because suddenly now you have like anybody can just claim, oh yeah, I'm doing this for the betterment of humanity. We'll have a project for about a year. We'll take everybody's work and then just vanish with it, right? So it's I don't know. It seems a little weird, but then at the same time, if they were to pay for everybody's stuff, it might get overpriced, and soon enough it'll be in huge demand. Obviously, it is already, and it'll get huge price tags, and they don't want to risk that, so they were just doing it like this. So I can see both sides of it, and I'm not sure where the middle of it even is. I'll still have to get figured out. But it was interesting to see because, like I said, it wasn't at all in the news. Like because it's a huge historic settlement. There was a huge precedent set in that case, and yeah. But even though they got the legal victory, the technical legal victory, they still decided to settle because they're still gonna be dealing with other lawsuits who will start just will have better lawyers, so they'll figure out another argument, another line of attack, and they'll just be dealing with this for the next years, maybe decades, even who knows. So they didn't want to risk that, so they were like, you know what, we'll just pay you, and you'll shut up and let us do our thing and not go to the media about this. And yeah, so they just settled that. I don't know how much it was. I think that was, but the total like damages uh estimated, obviously no, they did. I don't think the people wanted that. There was not, I think it was a class action lawsuit, but they didn't want this much. The estimated damages were like $750 billion, because they claimed damage because Anthropic would put it into Claude, train on it, and Claude would then spit it back out, basically like regurgitate the work, so bypassing copyright for many people. Like if a person would ask, tell me about this copyrighted work, or tell me about this copyrighted like text, like the actual text, then it would be it would spill the beans. And obviously that's bad, because then the person didn't buy the book, didn't pay for the book, and still got to read it. So nobody was happy about that. So then the lawsuit happened, and now finally the settlement came, and it was, I'm assuming it was, a good faith settlement. It was not like, just stop whatever. It was just good. It was like, everybody kind of walked away semi happy. Nobody's always not from none, no good business deal ends with both parties happy. Let's just put it that way. But it still works, and it works out in the end. And Anthropic still pledged to, like, what did they pledge? They pledged to make like bigger safeguards in regards to copyrighted content. So whenever somebody asks, like, "Oh, show me this," or "spill the beans on copyrighted content," it'll just say no. And speaking of AI behavior and guardrails and stuff, it turned out that, Anthropic is a really guarded. Well, Claude AI is a really guarded model. You got a bunch of videos on your channel that are interesting topics. Yeah, no, I'm talking about those right now, actually, as we speak. Uh, yeah, well, I mean, I can kind of connect it to my channel, because all of those, you can learn about all of those on my channel. Yes, that's what I was talking about right now. I did that, the Anthropic settles plagiarism case. I did that yesterday. You can go watch it on YouTube right now. And there is also the YouTube, the with the AI stuff, that's also on YouTube, that I did 2 days ago. What I'm going to talk about now, I did yesterday. So, well, no, 2 days ago. That YouTube was 3 days ago. Are we back? Nope, we're not back. Cool. Oh, I hope we're back. I hope we are back, because this was, yeah. Never mind. I think we're back. We should be back. I don't know, because LinkedIn is kind of delayed. Yeah, frozen. LOL. I knew it, because the school's Wi-Fi just once again decided to take a break, like I predicted. For some reason, it's always like in the middle of the stream. It might not even be the school's Wi-Fi's fault. It might be something like with Restream. I'm not sure. But anyways, it's always like after a certain time, it just poofs. So I don't know. Besides, that's kind of besides my name. I'm frozen second time. So are we back now, or like what's going on? I'm not sure, because I saw reconnection, or like, connection lost, reconnecting, blah blah. So it disappeared. So I hope we're back. It would be bad if I wasn't, but I did want to talk about the behavior of AI. So as soon as I get confirmation that I am back, then I will start talking about it, because I don't want to talk for another 10 minutes and just figure that I'm frozen on YouTube or wherever it is. Yeah, I see that on LinkedIn now that I'm frozen, but maybe. Ooh, okay, we're back. All right. Yep. Now I just saw it. Cool. We got 3 viewers on LinkedIn, so there's two others other than me. So welcome to whoever that is, and yeah, well, welcome. Tell me your opinion on Claude, and which type of AI do you personally use in your life? That was actually a question that a professor asked us in a class. So, and she actually does like Claude, which I did used to like a lot, because it did a lot of good text work and stuff. It was way better, I think. But now ChatGPT, in my opinion, is way more sharper, because Claude, like I said, it's really cautious. It does not like to attack. Hopefully, we're back for the last time. This is just stupid. I'm sorry about that. I thought I had it this time. I thought we wouldn't have a repeat of last Sunday stream, but apparently we do. Oh well, but I'll just keep going, because I don't want to lose my pace. In any case, so Claude, like I said, it's really cautious, and keep getting these pop-ups from programs on my computer. I hate it. Yeah, so Claude is cautious. It doesn't like aggressive stuff. It doesn't like to attack, and not in a bad way. Like if I'm, for example, if I'm trying to slam something on, let's say, a LinkedIn post, in a LinkedIn post, it always is really just like treading really, really carefully. So I don't like that. That's why I use ChatGPT. But other than that, for like prose and flow and the actual wording, it's 100% better. So, yeah, and yeah, I mean, there's a reason for it too. It was the original database and the original training data was just poetry and works like back then it was uncopyrighted works, which means like Shakespeare and these types of creators, artists, and stuff like that, writers. So yeah, so it was so it was interesting to learn that she also uses Claude. Well, it's her favorite one. It used to be my favorite, and now I use ChatGPT. But Claude, whenever you do that, whenever you try to do something quote unquote wrong or against their policy, it just gives you silent treatment. Basically, doesn't give you anything. Doesn't help you after that with anything. I remember when I used Claude like a year ago. I'm not sure if they changed it. It was when I tried to make it be a little more aggressive in its texts. Anything beyond, it told me like I can't do that, whatever, and it explained the situation. Explained its reasoning, and I was like, okay, cool. So can you make something completely different for me then? And it just said, no, I can't do that or whatever. And it just wouldn't continue in any which way. Even if I wanted to make it more benign, and stuff like that, it still wouldn't like at all with anything. So I had to start a new chat until I realized that, or maybe they added that later. You can now edit your individual prompts. If you go way back in the chat, like way high, you can still just you can have your fun with them. And by the way, it'll reset the chat back to the back to that prompt and the answer it gives you. So yeah, you can retry, and if it doesn't give it to you and it just refuses to make anything else for you, you can just say, nope, I'm not dealing with you, and just delete it. So yeah. And the next thing is ChatGPT and how that acts, because it is, well, for both, it's actually, they're really agreeable, meaning, if you say something or express an opinion, they'll always pretty much agree with you, unless it's something really, really widely known, like if I say 1 + 1 = 4, and I tell that to ChatGPT, I know I can, which is funny. I know I can convince ChatGPT way more than I can Claude, because Claude will just shut down on you, like I said. But ChatGPT will keep going with you until like if you have good reasoning for why 1 + 1 = 4, or just BS it, then then it'll actually like start agreeing with you, which is really hilarious. And it's happened to me before, like on not 1 + 1 = 4, but because I wouldn't know how to really reason about that, but like on other more more niche stuff, not really general. Still better than in England, where cops just come to pick you up based on online behavior and what you say. Yeah, I mean, that's happening all over Europe. So it's not just England. In England, it's the most notorious because it's an English-speaking country, but it happens in Germany, it happens in France, and everywhere. But it's that whole situation is, I don't. It's a big can of worms with 6 minutes left to go. I don't really want to get into all of that because politics. Once again, it all goes. Just checking if I have my little light on, if the microphone's on. But yeah, politics is just nasty. It can be vicious, and I don't like to engage in it, especially online. And I have my own views, sure, but I'm not gonna push them on anybody here, right? Because this is, well, I'm live on YouTube and X, which are pretty political. But then again, I'm live also on LinkedIn, which is not political at all and not supposed to be political. So I'm not going to get political. In any case, yeah. So ChatGPT will just agree with you way more than Claude, from my experience, and it'll also just it can just BS completely, make up answers, hallucinate them, and try and explain them to you with the highest confidence that you've ever seen, which is just, and I've covered that years ago. I've covered that years ago, where I what was it? Oh yeah. Well, literally, like when I started my second or third short, like 2.5 years ago, almost, I think, something like that. Yeah, basically what happened was, I was doing homework with it. And I was trying to just experiment a little bit and gave it some what was it called, MCQs, multiple choice questions, right? And it was question A, B, C, D, and you know, I knew what the answer was, right? But then I just like, well, what does ChatGPT have to say about it? How will it reason with me and stuff like that? So I did that, and what I got back was, for example, the first answer would be completely wrong, okay, and then I was like, no, actually, the answer is this, and the first answer, it would be completely wrong, but it would justify for why I picked it, and it would be like, this whole elaborate thing, and it would make complete sense, you know, in the time, right? But then, I said, no, it's actually this. That's the answer. And it was like, oh, yes, I'm sorry. This is actually the true answer. And then it would reason again, and it would have the perfect same answer. So then for the next question, I decided to mess with it a little bit. I was like, again, another question, A, B, C, D. It picked an answer wrong. Not, no surprise there at that point. And okay, I was looking. We all know. We all know Sam Altman admitted ChatGPT conversations have government oversight. They do have government oversight a little bit. It's not necessarily like government over, like government can just go in and look for your messages. They have to give them, obviously subpoena and stuff like that, and but ChatGPT does keep records of your conversations for a long time. So if you think all your conversations are private, they are not. In case you do have something that you don't want to have in there, I suggest deleting it, because Sam Altman said, like, himself, yeah, we do keep records of chats of all users for some time. I don't know exactly how long, probably for a long time though, because if the police were to ask about it and stuff like that, and then requested a subpoena, they will hand over your data. So yeah, just be careful what you say, even to ChatGPT. Yes, it's not your personal confidant, because once they do check it, they will check everything, and they will know everything about you. So yeah, just be careful about that. And so yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, I decided to mess with it a little bit. Yeah, nothing is private online. Exactly, nothing, absolutely nothing is private online. And I did want to say again, yeah, I decided to mess with it a little bit. ABCD picked the wrong answer. Like, okay, no, this is actually the right answer. But I told it that the right answer was a wrong answer, right? I told it, the right answer was a C. For the first one, it picked B, and I told it the correct answer is actually A. And again, it was like, just gave me a perfect reasoning for why for why C it is, and for why A, the answer is. But none of them were right. The C was the only correct answer, and I was like, okay, that's just interesting, and it surprised me. It was like, but that was back then. That was like 2 years ago. I might try it out now. I might do a 2025 version. I was back in 2023, so maybe they've upgraded it. Maybe they did it better. I know that it can hit a lot more, and whenever I'm trying to confirm an answer for like a question, I put it into like four different ones, and also a tiebreaker. So like Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and then one tiebreaker. I picked that at random. But then, you put it into all four of them, and basically, like, if I count, ChatGPT gave one answer, Gemini gave, the same answer, but then Claude and Perplexity gave, two different answers or something like that, or two different answers would be win for the ChatGPT and Gemini one. But if they gave two, like two and two, then obviously comes a tiebreaker, and whatever that is, it wins. But that's how you get accurate responses. And yeah, so 2937. Wow. And we got 3 viewers on YouTube suddenly out of nowhere, just towards the end of the stream. Of course, that's just always happens for some reason. Always when I want to end, it's everybody comes. So I think I know one. I know maybe it's the second one, but I don't know who the third one is. So welcome, whoever you are. Tell me your opinion on your most favorite chatbot. Because mine is currently ChatGPT. It has insane, and I mean insane, image generation capabilities. It can create you anything, and it does have a really good, what do I call it? It can be way more unhinged than Gemini or Claude. I'll just put it that way, and you can make it that way. So yeah, and what else did I want to say? I mean, there's not a lot of people engaging in the comments that much, but yeah, this rings true. So I'll end on this note, right there. Nothing is private online. Remember that, and remember, the famous saying from, well, I mean, I used to play, what was it, old Call of Duty, basically from, even World War II, and it still rings true. At the time, they were saying, remember, the enemy is always listening, so quiet, you know. And that was, again, back then. So everything was in person, but still there were spies and stuff. And now it's way more easier for the government and whoever else to spy on you. So whatever you put online stays online, and also it's totally not private. So yeah, it's there pretty much forever. In any case, well, thank you very much for not. I didn't mean to. I clicked on the to hide your comment, but I almost accidentally clicked on like to block you or whatever. I wouldn't want to do that. Anyways, so yeah, but thank you for watching. Again, this was this week's lessons, and I guess we'll see you same time next Sunday, 11 p.m., 11 a.m. Central, and then 12 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Off to a busy week, a little shorter. Friday will come from, it's only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so it's a little shorter week. But still, good luck to everybody, and I guess yeah, see you next week, and have a blessed day.